Warhammer Chaos is kind of boring, isn't it?
Don't get me wrong, I do like chaos. I think it is the key element of all of Warhammer's settings that in many ways makes Warhammer what it is. I like the creative designs of the demons and the concept of the gods being powered by the inner thoughts and feelings that people have, or fears and impulses that are being materialized in the realm of chaos or warp. I like the inner squabblings of the gods and their followers with unique relations to each other and their god, Nurgle's familial bonds, Tzeentchian individualistic strife for knowledge, Khornite fanatical dedication to violence, and Slaaneshi, Warhammer, why do you have to be such a prude?
But this is not everything that Chaos has to offer. There are many Lovecraftian elements to it. Secret arcane knowledge, unknowable truths, mysterious signs from the ruinous powers.
But when looking at Chaos from the standpoint of lore reader, we see it is a very rigid system of demon hierarchy. There is a very specific way the follower of Chaos has to gain favors of their god to ascend to demonhood at the end of it. So how about we look at Warhammer Fantasy's Norska and figure out what is their relationship to the Dark Gods.
Norska are not these guys. They are mostly these guys. They're not the most subtle of the factions in the Warhammer, taking a lot of inspiration from the Scandinavian culture. When it comes to Chaos worship, Fantasy Roleplay 3rd edition, that godforsaken one, asserts that these guys are pulling an Iron Warrior over here, praising Chaos for pragmatism only. But my main Norska source comes from the Bible. No, the Chaos Bible. No, not even that, the New Testament. Book of Mormon.
Norse religion varies from a tribe to a tribe and includes a broad pantheon of ancestor gods, heroes, demons, and deities. Each group of Norsemen embrace a pantheon that reflects 4 central themes: war, desire, decay, and hope, aka the Big Four. But pantheons rarely identify that god as a single entity, rather they may have several. Instead of Khorne, they might have 3 gods, one of wrath, another for death, and another one for excellence in arms. All pantheons usually feature a king of the gods, who usually is the immortalized legendary king of the tribe's past. He usually has a consort, a goddess of home and hearth, marriage and motherhood. In addition, there are a number of gods to represent the elemental forces of fire, wind, water, and earth. These tend to correspond to the 4 chaos gods, one of which is often the trickster god, almost always a parallel to Tzeentch. The rest of the gods reflect the particular concerns of the community. Add to this hundreds of hero gods and demons, and you come close to assembling a typical tribe's pantheon.
Some Norscan tribes don't exclusively worship Chaos. They worship Taal and Rhea, Ulrich, old gods of the Empire, and some of them have their own versions of those gods. The Skelling tribe, for example, claims a demon god Bermedus, who is often seen as a dark reflection of Ma'anan, the god of the sea, who dwells beneath the Sea of Claws. They depict him as a bulbous, ghoulish figure, bloated in death and covered in bulging eyes. It says he walks on the seafloor, causing stormy waters to capsize ships and drown sailors. To appease this vile god, the Scallions make human and animal sacrifices, casting them overboard to temporarily distract the great god from their sea voyages. Don't forget about Hashut of the Dawizar, the Chaos Dwarves, father of darkness, god of fire, greed and tyranny. While in some sources Hashut's godhood is disputed, there is no connection between Hashut and the Big Four, except for a possible lazy connection based on red equals Khorne. The Bull God made a pact with the Chaos Dwarves. The details of how that pact was struck, by whom, and how exactly is lost to time. Today, Chaos Dwarves are the Forge Masters of Chaos, making abominable creations that mix immaterial demons with siege weapons made of steel. But in my opinion, the biggest and the most interesting advancement in Chaos lore comes from Age of Sigmar's game Warcry.
So, Games Workshop came out with a game called Warcry, Kill Team but for AOS. The story of the game is that there are different Chaos warbands that heard the call of Archaon to join the Unholy Crusade. They travel to 8 points, the realm controlled by the armies of Chaos, and infested by chaotic beasts, to prove themselves in order to be seen worthy to drink Archaon's bathwater. Look at those boys and girls. This is the warband I am actually working on right now. You might have seen them in the previous video, Corvus Cabal. Look at these minis. What god do you think they worship? Well, bird equals Tzeentch, right? Probably. Some arcane, some mystery, something like that, right? Well, wrong. Hailing from the realm of shadow, the Corvus Cabal are masters of ambush and assassination, who worship an aspect of chaos they call the Great Gatherer. They honor this foul deity through deadly hunts, stealing treasures from the corpses of their victims. Believing Archaon to be an avatar of the Gatherer, they seek to gain the favor of the Grand Marshal of the Apocalypse, and thus please their mysterious god.
One could find a lot of connection between the Great Gatherer and Tzeentch, sure, but there is a lot of connection with Khorne's violence as well. And what if we fixate on the crows eating human flesh? Or maybe they find their killing sprees exciting in an indulgent way. Also, which god is into gold and valuables? Randall?
Every warband in Warcry has more or less been independent from the major chaos gods, arguably with some like the Unmade being closer to a specific chaos entity without stating an allegiance outright. This creates an opportunity not only for obscurity, but also for a more varied aesthetic and style of observance that cults take up. We already had something like that in the warrior cults within the Imperial Army, where Khornite cultists bonded over their military membership and the culture of war.
So if you're playing an RPG set in the old world, 40k or your own homebrew, there are many ways you can come about creating a sort of secret society or cult. Generic Conan the Barbarian style cults are fine and good, but creating a cult that worships something that even your players are not aware of creates a great mystery for them to uncover. You can go the Corvus Cabal route and come up with a god's name that is not mentioned in the lore. You can make that god an aspect of an existing chaos god, or leave that part blank to go the Lovecraftian route of unknowable horror. This is perfect if you're running a game in the grim spook dark subgenre with eldritch elements. Or it could be the Blau, the foul god of drunken puke that feasts on pub crawlers, a combination of Slaanesh indulgence and Nurgle's puke.
You can also look at the world that you are portraying and try to see where there might be a subculture that might arise out of a material reality of your world and then corrupt it with chaos. Warriors' lodges are a great start, but unless you're running a game where you are narratively close to the army, it wouldn't be much of a use to you. Adventurers League might be a great chaos cult, who worships an unknowable god of fortune, greed and betrayal, known as the Fortune Giver. It might even present itself as a cult of Randall, so that players don't assume any foul play when they start working with them. The original Chaos books encouraged creation of your own cults and gods, and I think we are so used to the Big Four that we assume that if there is chaos, it is one of the four. It is very uncreative, so much so that when I posted my previous video on GRPR to one of these subreddits, a commenter instantly informed me that it is most likely a Tzeentchian chaos cult, without watching the video or knowing the subject matter. Don't be that guy. If you see an obvious connection, it might not be that obvious because it would be boring. GRPR has nothing to do with Tzeentch, at least it doesn't have to based on the lore. If nothing else, it is not Chaos who controls GRPR, but the Lamian vampires. But you haven't heard me saying it. Go read the original source. Begone.